Taoiseach, when Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil joined together with the Green Party and Coalition 4 years ago, you promised that this would be the government to fix housing. A very bold claim from the parties that had in fact created the housing crisis in the first place. Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil have had more than a decade to solve housing, but you've only made it worse. And now, as your government heads for the exit door, your record of failure is clear. People live with it every day. House prices through the roof, far beyond the reach of working people. Rip-off rents at record levels continuing to soar, and tenants facing the prospect of eviction. A level of homelessness that we never ever thought we would see, increasing month after month. And while so many struggle to put and keep a secure roof over their heads, your affordable housing schemes make a mockery of the term affordable, hanging price tags of over €500,000 on so-called affordable homes in some areas. You've courted and backed vulture and cuckoo funds, promoted build to rent, tolerated the bulk buying of homes from under the noses of first-time buyers. And yet, you and Micheál Martin spin the line that you've turned the corner on housing. You have not. So far, your government has delivered less homes this year than last. That's not turning a corner, Taoiseach. That's called going backwards. Minister O'Brien spent months promising new housing targets, but Micheál Martin wasn't best pleased. After all, joint housing targets simply draw attention to your joint failure. So a sham fight ensued, petty politicking, and then the Taoiseach buckled. And now, in the dying week of your government, you finally set your new housing targets. And lo and behold, they're too low again. They're 20% lower than what your own Housing Commission states is needed. And I think this demonstrates why people can't afford another government led by Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil. Because the housing crisis will continue and worsen. House prices, rents and homelessness will continue to increase, leaving more working people locked out of affordable housing. And with what choice? The box room of their parents' house, or getting fleeced in the rental sector if they can find somewhere, or being forced to emigrate. That is what you offer. But the good news is that people can put an end to your housing disaster in this election. Choose to back a real housing plan from Sinn Féin, the plan to make housing affordable, to bring home ownership back to the reach of working people, to get families off council waiting lists and into homes, to end long-term homelessness, to give hope back to a generation so badly failed by Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. Hope that they can have a home of their own and build a good life here in Ireland. Taoiseach, workers and families cry out for affordable, secure homes. And yet you, again, stand over housing targets too low to meet housing need. Can you explain that failure again, please?
Thank you, Deputy McDonald.
Deputy McDonald, thank you for raising what is an incredibly important issue, the issue of housing, because I agree on this. Housing is the biggest challenge that faces this generation. It must be the #1 priority for government. But we are making progress, and it's your failure to acknowledge that progress isn't borne out by the realities being experienced by people right across this country. Because there are now 500 individuals or couples buying their first home every week. You never seem to meet these people. I meet them regularly. People who are buying houses each and every week, getting their homes, moving out of the box room, moving in with their partner, moving into a place where they can start their career from. We've had housing commencement figures that are really quite extraordinary in terms of seeing construction now starting on over 49,000 homes so far this year. This is important progress, and it is something that should give cause for optimism. And of course, all of this is backed up by the largest housing budget ever in Budget 2025, where this coming year, we'll see a record €6 billion in capital investment in housing, up 20% on last year's allocation. In addition to that, unlike your plans, which would pull the rug from under first-time buyers, we are actually extending the first home scheme out to 2029, extending the Help to Buy scheme, a scheme that has helped 50,000 first-time buyers. You want to abolish it for some reason, and we're providing an extra €80 million for the first home scheme as well. We're increasing the renters' tax credit, both now and again into next year. And yes, today, we did agree housing targets that, roughly speaking, will see an ability to deliver, for every one home that was delivered during the lifetime of this government, an ability to deliver 2 over the course of the next 5 years. That is genuine progress. And of course, you're quite right. The people will have time very shortly to give their view and their verdict, not just on our housing plans, but also on yours. And I very much look forward to that as well, because people watching today should know that you want to abolish the Land Development Agency, an agency that's now capitalised to deliver 18,000 homes. 18,000 homes are going to be delivered by the LDA. What's your priority when you get into government? Spend God knows how long passing legislation to scrap it when it's building homes. I've been there with you, Minister O'Brien, in Shanganagh, in Shankill, with you, Minister Carol McNeill, where we've actually seen people moving into their new homes. The second thing I think they're going to ask you is, when are you going to tell the people of Ireland what issues the banks have raised with you about your housing plan? You told them on RTÉ this week, you said, yeah, they raised a couple of issues, but we think we can overcome them all. What are the issues? Please, when you get to your feet, let us know what are the issues. Did the banks raise 1 issue? Did they raise 5? Did they raise 3? What are the issues? Because people trying to get a mortgage want to know that. No, you see, it's about a change here. It's not going to be just about you asking me questions. We've questions about your housing plan as well. And the third thing is this: what do you say to the guard married to the nurse who will not be able to qualify for assistance under your plan? Because under our plan,
it is true.
Sorry,
Please, no. Over 90,000.
Please, a little order. Don't be shouting now. Under our plan, people can get up to 30,000 back through the Help to Buy. Under your plan, somebody on combined income of €95,000 will receive no support if a house price exceeds €450,000. Under our plan, people who try to buy a house worth €450,000 can get that €30,000 back. Under your plan, they can only get €4,500 back. So yes, there is going to be a choice on offer for the Irish people. And yes, you are offering change. It's just not change that people want.
So your very great problem, Taoiseach, is that nobody believes you?
Well, let's see. Let's see.
Oh, we'll see, all right.
We'll see.
Oh, we'll see, all right. And I look forward.
Humility has gone already.
I look forward to the debate that will ensue.
Me too.
When we place our costed, thoughtful, deliverable plan that is directed at delivering affordable homes for families, affordable rents, finally tackling the scourge of homelessness, a plan that is rooted in concern for citizens and communities and not kowtowing to the high and mighty vulture funds, cuckoo funds, the big developers and the corporate landlords. That is the Fine Gael way, Ceann Comhairle, and I look forward to the debate and challenging you on that.
Me too.
The fact is that your belated housing targets are 20% below what is required according to your own Housing Commission. These aren't Sinn Féin figures. These are your figures. And you fail yet again to recognise the scale of the crisis and the need that we face. I asked you to explain the fact that you have undershot again by 20%. You brought your memo to Cabinet. I have not as of yet seen how many social or affordable housings are contained in these figures. You might enlighten us on that. But the bigger issue is, how is it, after years of government and all of your hot air, that even as we exit this Dáil, even as you walk out the door for the final time, you still undersell, you still underplay, and you can't even get your targets right? For God's sake, you're hardly building the necessary number of homes when you can't even do the simple maths.
Here.
You're terribly confident about the outcome of the next election, walking out the door for the final time and all this sort of stuff, so it's good to see the arrogance is back. The reality of the situation is this. Today, this government took a decision that is a responsible decision, a decision to set housing targets for the next 5 years that can show people how, over the course of now out to 2030, you can deliver 303,000 homes, averaging at 50,500 over the course of that time period per year. That is going to make a real and meaningful difference to people right across this country. It's going to mean mean effectively a doubling of new housing supply over that time period. And that will enable more first-time buyers to buy their homes. It will enable us to provide more social homes than ever before. And we're not coming at this from a standing start, Deputy. We're coming at this from the point where already we're seeing mortgage drawdowns up, already we're seeing the number of first-time buyers up, and we're seeing 500 new individual first-time buyers and couples buying their first home each and every week. That is progress. There's a lot more to do. The country has the resources to do it. We have the plan to do it, and we can credibly show people how we're going to do it. You're still refusing to answer the question about what issues the banks raise with you. When will you tell us what they are, and when will you answer those questions?
Thank you, Taoiseach.